Happy Saturday night. Welcome to Villains. Let me just do my little side work. See some people showing up. So we're finding it good. And I'm pinning it. Okay, I'm done. I'm done. Okay. Welcome. Holy moly, you guys. I'm tired. Today was amazing. I only slept 4 hours. I knew last night about 1 a.m. I had a chance at doing this drawing downtown today. And then I woke up at 5 because I was so excited to hear back. And then I had to hustle to try to find art supplies. Nobody has acrylic paints right now. And I don't know spray paint. So, yeah, your girl is tired tonight. But it was awesome. It was awesome. Sorry, I got a little connectivity warning. It was awesome sharing the art. It just was awesome. I'm trying to read your comments while doing this. So then I had to come home. I had to eat. I had to really clean myself because I was nasty. And then I had to draw for tonight. So I have one apology. I did a drawing. I did not color it. I didn't have the time. So if you're new here, typically I show you the artwork that we're going to be drawing tonight, and it's all pretty and it's all colored and the whole bit. It's drawn. That's all I could do. It's drawn. So we are going to draw it again together, and then we will color it. For those that want to stay and color it, you can definitely color it. But yeah, I ran out of time. It took a lot more time today because I had to start and then I got kicked out and then I had to start over. So it was a day. It was a day. All right, that's all I have. So thank you. If you are new here, you are going to need a pencil, paper, a pen, and then whatever you like to color with. You are going to need something to drink. Thanks again, Silt. I'm still drinking your wine. It's delicious. And so tonight, our drinking words are the word villain and the word Disney. If you hear either of those words, you're going to drink. I was also going to come up with a game for tonight. Didn't happen. But we'll still have fun. We've done a lot of these without any games. So, so are you guys ready? Who are you hoping we're drawing? Who are you hoping we're drawing? There's a lot of villains. And I went with kind of 3 that I like. One of them is my absolute favorite. It's my favorite Disney movie. So if we're not drawing the villain that you like, well, you know what? There are so many Disney villains. Chances are we'll do this again. We'll do this again. I like that your phone just said Maleficent as if that was your high school girlfriend instead of Maleficent. I think it auto-corrected you to Maleficent. That made me laugh. So, okay, I'm reading Darth Vader, Ursula, lots of Ursulas. Okay, here we go. You guys ready? I'm going to flip it around, show you, move it over. Hopefully you'll be stoked because let me let you in on something. It is more than one villain, y'all. Hence why I had no time to color it. It's 3 villains. 3 villains. Yay! So we have Ursula. We have Maleficent. We have my personal favorite, Oogie Boogie. Nightmare Before Christmas is my very, very favorite Disney movie. I got to go for Halloween this last year, which has always been a bucket list, and there is nothing like the Haunted Mansion at Halloween. It is the best. So again, I am sorry it is not colored all beautifully and perfect. I will color it tonight when we draw it together, but here are our characters. You are welcome to draw all 3. You are welcome to just focus on one. It is totally up to you. You know, if Ursula is your jam and you want to just do Ursula and then throw in Little Mermaid and other things off to the side, you can do that. If you're an Oogie Boogie fan and you want to do Lock, Shock, and Barrel or throw in Jack, you can do that too. Oh God, I love Lock, Shock, and Barrel. I went Oogie Boogie because it was one character since I already had 3 and I didn't want to focus on like just Nightmare. So, oh, no worries. You can draw it tomorrow. You always draw such beautiful stuff. I know you'll do it, and you've been excited for the villains. Okay, so here, let's get going. I'm going to start from left to right. We're going to begin with Ursula. Again, your drinking words are villains, Disney. You can also throw in if I say the name of the villain. I mean, if you're really looking to chug it down tonight. So cheers, everybody. Happy drawing. Happy Saturday. Happy. So for Ursula, I'm going to start with a curve going up. I'm almost going to make kind of a snowman shape, which I know sounds kind of funny. Like, how is that going to end up Ursula? But it will. I'm just kind of making sure I have enough room making that top. So I'm doing a top curve. Hello in Martinez. And then for the bottom, well, it is kind of like, it's not going to be quite circular. It's going to kind of come out and then back around. She kind of has a wide jaw. So that is my start. I might make some little adjustments here and there. You know, that's what happens when you do it in pencils. You can tweak it a little bit in places. Now, in the top of this circle, we're going to put a V right in the top. And once you have that V, you can erase the line that goes across. Her hair has a deep V down her forehead. Just above these little points, I'm going to put small ears on the side. So 2 little small circles off to the side of the head. Just do that one over. One of the best parts about Ursula is her hair. So to start her hair, I'm going to do a curve that comes out and back in slightly. And then just a little up from that, another curve that goes out and in. And then the next one, I'm not going to have it start from the top of her head. I'm actually going to have it start a little bit into the hair. And then this top piece is going to be kind of like a wave. It's going to curl over, back in, and around. Another one of these pointy ones where like this side is all curved and then this side are all of these point, like these, they look like waves to me. So we'll do another here. Another here. And then one more here. I'm going to have this one really kind of point down. And then this one's going to curve right back into the face. This is almost a similar hair. I don't know his name, but The Incredibles. Like this also reminds me of that guy, the villain in The Incredibles. Now, for the eyes, they start as points, and they're going to come kind of around the edge of the face, like you're following the face. And then I made that a little bit long. And then it's going to curve down and in. And then this connects. It's almost teardrop-like. Same thing over here, starting up in the top, and I'm curving around, following Ursula's face. Curving in. And then connecting this back up to the top. And most of it is really, while it's like eye, it's really her eye, her eyeshadow, her eyebrows. They're all kind of built into that space. So at the bottom, you're going to do a curve pretty close, just a little gap space for that lower lid. And you'll do that on both sides. She has that lower lid, which is colored in purple. And then her eye, it pretty much starts just a little bit up from this second line. You're just going to curve up and out to the side. And then same over here, curve up and out to the side. And then you have one more line that curves down in this top section. And 2 little circles for her eyeballs. And she has lashes that are right at the edge, this top edge of the eye, because this is actually her eyelid. This is her upper eyelid and her eyebrow. So her lashes are right here where that eye starts. And now it's starting to look more like her. Her nose, I'm going to do a little line coming down. Like I'm going to make like a little V, and then it's going to come up. So up, 2 lines going up with a V that connects them. And she has a very dramatic cheek curl. So starting right at the nose, you're going to curl out and down. And then same on the other side. Out and down. She has a little chin. Well, it's not so little, a little line on her chin anyway. And then big dramatic lips. So you're doing that heart shape all the way out to the line. You're not going to touch it, but you're coming pretty close to it. Repeat that shape on the other side to the line. Connect them. And then just the slightest smile. It's more like a sinister smirk. I can't even speak. And then she has a mole. So that is the start of our Ursula face. You can do other little hair lines, like little details inside the hair. For her earrings, they are a triangle, like a diamond shape, 2 triangles. So I'm starting with a V, and then I'm connecting that V with another V. And then I'll erase that little ear line when I draw it in pen. This one's probably going to touch inside of her face, and that's okay. Now her body, I kind of gave her a very oversized head and a smaller body, but that's just kind of the fun in the, the cartooning illustration. You can kind of play with proportion a little bit. And I really like a good oversized head. Don't make that dirty. I'm looking at you, Banana. Now, starting in a little bit on her chin, you are going to do 2 lines that curve in. One on this side. Yep, an Ursula bobblehead. One on this side. I see it, Rosie. And then these are where her tentacles are going to be built off of. So we're going to take this first one and we're going to curl up and around. And then I'm going to do one coming down and back in. And this one I'm going to add a little edge to it, like I'm seeing the underside of the tentacle. And then let's do one here. And then I'm going to do a bigger one right here that shows more of the underside. So it's going to start like that, but then I'm going to extend it out and bring it back in. So this is all the same tentacle right here. This is the front of it. This is the underneath of it. And we'll see that more in the ones where we're seeing the underneath. We're actually going to fill those with little circles. So it looks like the little suction. So we'll put circles all over that, circles along this. And then one more tentacle, I'm going to bring it up and back in. So she has some skinny ones, she has some fat ones, kind of a couple different shapes. I'm going to put the shell necklace on her neck. So I'm starting that just a little bit down from the chin. I'm going to draw a spiral and then a line in. See that? And that gives you that shell shape. And then 2 lines that go up to the corners for the chain holding it on, the necklace. And then her top is actually a V, but it's being covered by the necklace. So we're just going to do 2 curved lines off of each side of the shell for the top of her dress. And then we're keeping a simple arm where her hands are on her hip. So I'm going to curve out and then come back in. And then this is the start of her hand, and then one little finger. And it'll just give a look like her hands are on her hip, and you can put a little V inside so it gives that look of the bend of the arm. Nothing too fancy. I made that one way too close. You want to start them about the same distance on each side. So comes out, curves in, little curve for the hand, and then another little curve for the finger, and then just a little V on the side so it looks like hands on hips. And that is our Ursula. I'm going to change the shape of this one. I don't love this one. I think I want it to come down like that. There we go. I like that better. Maybe see a little bit of the underneath. See, we drew in pen last week, so we couldn't make all those little changes. But tonight, since we're drawing in pencil, you can make any adjustments you need to. So there is Ursula. Can I bring it closer to see the arms? Yes, I can. They're very simple. I mean, they're just kind of like, you're imagining most of her arm behind her. So you're just seeing like, almost like she has fists, and you're just seeing this would be like her wrist, and this would be a finger. Just a very, very simple hand. If you wanted to be, you know, more complex, you could bring the hand on the body a bit, have it coming into the body. But I just kept it very, very basic since we're drawing more than one character tonight. I didn't want to get too wild. Oh. And I'm just hitting my paper all over the place because I wanted to take a drink. I've had a couple friends be Ursula for Halloween, and oh my gosh, what a fantastic costume. I actually was once Cruella de Vil a couple years ago. That was pretty great also. It was very fun. I found a fur coat at Goodwill that really kind of looked like dog, and it gave me the idea to be Cruella de Vil. Okay, so next on to Maleficent. So for Maleficent, I am going to start with, so I want to account for like her body, and she's more narrow. I'm going to keep her a little more narrow. So if her skirt is wider and her body gets smaller, then I know I want her head about here. So that's kind of how I plan for that. So I'm just going to draw an oval shape, circle, oval on my paper. Oogie Boogie is probably our easiest character to draw. And then from here, I am going to also put a V in the center. This one curved, where Ursula's is just a letter V. This is that curved V. And you can erase this line here. And then we're going to put another slightly curved line that just kind of follows the top of the head. Cheers. And then from the ends here is where you're going to do those horns. So you're curving in, and then you're coming back out until you get just a little tiny space from the end of the horn and the start of the face, because she kind of has that mask, that full encompassing mask around her face. And you do that on both sides. And I'm going to try to kind of line up the horn. So I'm just giving myself a little guideline around where my horn should finish. So then they're about the same length on each side. See, they kind of line up. And then this can follow the curve of the face, but when it gets right to where the chin is, it's going to drop into a V and then come back up. Just like that. And now I did more of a original Maleficent horn. The Maleficent that was redone, the kind of live, not live, but what do you call that? The real, the one with Angelina Jolie. Her horns were more twisted. I just went with like the old school Maleficent horn. I didn't want to get too horny with my horns, so I just kept them, again, pretty basic. And I'm just kind of changing the shapes a little bit. I like this one better, so now I'm trying to make this one match a little bit. It's kind of what you can do. You know, if you can draw and you can make your sides match the first time you throw it on paper, then good for you. But I can't. If I'm doing it in pen, I just let it go. I just deal with the fact that they don't match. But when I'm doing it in pencil, you know, I'll keep kind of building off until they look a little more similar in shape. Now, like, I'm going to cut this one just a little, and then I think they're going to match up more. There we go. Those look good. And then there's lines, slightly curved lines that follow the horn. I've actually never seen the Angelina Jolie version. I've only seen the original. And then there's a line going right down the center. We're going to do small eyebrows up in this little area. And she had a very dramatic cat eye and a very narrow eye. I am going to change her eye, just again, drawer's preference. So I'm going to do a line that curves out, is like a wave. I'll do the same over here. And then I'm going to put a curved line below it. I'm going to cut the eye over here in the corners. So this is the part I'll leave white, this very corner, and then this is the part I'll color. And then I'm going to put a little circle in the middle of the eye. A tiny little nose, just a little V going to the side. And then I'm going to do very small, like almost puckered lips. So I'm going to do this like curved bit, but it's just going to go up and down, almost like a letter M, or like if you were making a seagull in the sky. And I'll show you that up close. And then a line that connects, and then a tiny little one below. So see how that just gives that little pursed, puckered up lip? I'll leave that there for a second so you guys can get all that done. Get your Maleficent face on. And cheers, by the way. Now for the robe, I'm going to do off to the side here. I'm going to put a line that comes up to a point and then comes back down into, I want that a little bit wider. There we go. Comes back down in. And another smaller one I'm going to put here off to the side that comes more down. So this one really curves in, and then this one I'm taking more down. Oh, happy birthday, Nicole. You did not inform of that. Happy birthday. This is an awesome way to celebrate with just you and 44 of your closest Facebook friends. I have to tell everyone very quickly, Nicole gave the idea of painting on the plywood downtown. She said, you know, it'd be super cool if you could do that. And so she gave me some contacts. I tried with that avenue and it didn't work out. But then I randomly last night ran across came across the page, Boards for a Cause. And so here's a little side note. So Boards for a Cause, they developed themselves like overnight. They became extremely successful. And they're the ones leading this painting of the boards. And the brilliant part is at the end, when the boards come off, so when buildings are going to open back up and the boards come off, there will be an auction. And all of those boards are going to be sold. And all of that money is going to go towards youths in the area. So very, very cool. I was super excited to be a part of it. I'm getting all emotional just talking about it. So let's move back to Maleficent. Thank you, Nicole. Happy birthday. I'm going to repeat this collar on the other side. So I have the one curving in. And then I have another one that I'm taking up and more out and down. And I'll clean up a lot of these lines when I go in with the pen. I'm kind of putting a lot of different lines in, but so yeah, if you want to see more, you should go on Instagram, and you can go to Draw with Stacy on Instagram. I tagged that group a bunch of times today. So I don't know, if you later want to be part of the auction, you could do that. Okay, now this is more of the collar, and then the robe is here, but the robe has one more of these curves. So I'm going to start it down, and I'm just going to do a very curved line that comes down and then follows back in and touches back with the original. So let me do that again for you on the other side. It comes up, comes down, curves back in, and reconnects with the original. If your collar doesn't touch it, just bring that line on down till they meet. And then this is going to go down to the ground. And then we're going to do a line that comes out and in, and I'm making that quite wavy because it's a robe. Again, out. Meat butting right up to Ursula's tentacle. And that's okay. I'll just make this one a little narrower so they match on each side. It doesn't really matter though. It's a robe. Robes don't always look perfectly even because of the way they wave. And so she has a cane, a staff. I don't know, what do you call it? A magic thing. So draw a circle. And then her hand is butted right up against it, okay? So we're going to do a curved line as if this is the wrist of the coat. And then we're going to do those little 1, 2, 3, 4, and back in. So there's her hand. And then the rest of the cane finishes on the other side. And I'm going to have it come just a little bit further than her coat. So it's almost going to the edge of my paper. And I'll zoom in on that. We're not doing the like arm, anything like that. Like her hand is just sticking out of a little cut inside of her robe. And her robe is going to be colored black, so there's no point in doing any little detail work in there. It will just look like the hand is coming out of the robe to hold her thing. And you don't need one on the other side. You just need the one. And that is our Maleficent. Cheers. I need a refill. How's everybody doing? Is everyone doing these 3, or is anyone changing it up and doing something a little different? Is anyone focusing on just one? I thought about doing Jack Skellington, but if you really think about it, in the movie Nightmare Before Christmas, I really don't think of Jack Skellington as being a villain. I see him as being like the confused leader. He wants something different. He tries for something different. It blows up in his face. I really see Oogie Boogie as like the villain in that movie. That is quite literally, I don't know if it's my favorite Halloween movie or my favorite Christmas movie, because I feel like it crosses both. But I can tell you, I remember seeing that in the theater. I would have been, I don't know, 17 or 18. And I literally thought, what's this? What's this? What is this weird movie? Yeah, I was so perplexed. But as an adult, I love it. My kid really loved it. He really loved any movies that had singing. So we watched that a lot. And we still watch it every Halloween and every Christmas. You must be a little slow tonight, too much wine. Maybe. I'm on my second very large pour. So, oh, Linda, you have to see it. It's very good. It's weird. It's Tim Burton. So if you've ever seen, Edward Scissorhands, or I'm too tired to think of much Burton tonight. Beetlejuice, he's quirky. But the music is amazing. It's so good. So good. It's worth giving a try. Oh, you all should see it. You really should. That's awesome, Leslie. Leslie, your profile picture is so tiny, and I thought, oh, I wonder what Leslie this is. And then I saw the full name. It's you. It's your child in your profile picture. And I just think Nightmare Before Christmas is a good story. Okay, let's move on to Oogie Boogie. So Oogie Boogie, he is a sack. He's really a sack filled with bugs, as we learn. So we're going to start with... Oh, can we do a quick close-up of Maleficent's mouth? Yes. There you go. No, I'm just kidding. There you go. It's like a little letter M and then a little bump on the bottom. And you know what I actually liked? Okay, this is something I think is why I like, since people want to see close-ups, I'll chat more. Something I like about Nightmare Before Christmas. So when I was drawing these, my husband said, well, gosh, the only one I know is Oogie Boogie. He didn't know Maleficent and he didn't know Ursula. Now I love Ursula. Little Mermaid, you know, I grew up in Little Mermaid. But when you're describing most Disney movies to someone, you're like, oh, well, she takes the voice. And in order to get the voice back, you have to be kissed. And then, oh, well, she puts him to sleep. And then, you know, to order to wake up, you have to be kissed. Like, that is the quintessential, is that a right word? I say lots of wrong words. And the wine makes it worse. That is like what Disney does, right? That's their thing. They write movies where the main character has to kiss the perfect person, which is usually a man, in order to come out of their spell or their coma or whatever. None of that in Nightmare Before Christmas. There is love involved, but there is no female character saved by a kiss. I appreciate that. I appreciate it too, just for the originality. Okay, let's get back to Oogie Boogie. He's a sack. So we're going to do a curved line up, around, and down to a point. And the parents always die first in the kissing. I never thought about that. Oh, that's pretty funny. I made this way too pointed in. So I'm gonna take that out a little bit. Move that line. Now, so this is where his head will be. His body, this line is going to come down almost to the bottom of the page, and then it's going to curve in. One of his legs is built down here. And so off of the front, we're going to curve out and back in. And then his foot just kind of comes down to a point and back around and up. Round that just a little bit. But you'll see if you watch it, he's just like a burlap sack that's walking on all fours, but he's stitched together. His other leg, I'm going to do right here, and I want that thigh in the body. So I'm going to have a line that starts up in the body, comes down about to where the other one does, and then it's going to come out and back in. And I'm just going to take it up to about there, let's say. I might need to elongate that. I might need to shorten that. Yeah, we're drawing Oogie Boogie from Nightmare Before Christmas. I'm not sure that when Nightmare Before Christmas was originally done, it was Disney. I think Disney bought the rights to that movie. I might be wrong, though. I am often wrong. If you've learned anything from me besides drawing, you have learned I'm often wrong. And I'm often forgetful. Those are the 3 things you've learned in your time here. I doodle, I'm wrong, and I forget things. Okay, I'm going to leave this for now. I'm going to come back up into the head. This is going to curve in. This is like the folded over tip of the sack head. And then a curved line going across that comes about to where the neck is here. They kind of match up. Quarantine boogie. And then I'm actually going to start a line that it's a little bit higher than this line here. And I'll explain what this is in just a second. But it's going to come down and it's going to meet this line. If it doesn't, when you first draw it, you can always add it. And it's just going to come below it just a little bit. He's sewn together. So what this line ends up being is a line of stitches. So you're just going to put lines going down that. His arm, he's going to also have an arm on the hip. So we're going to take this out. And I'm going to curve it. And like I said, this might not be long enough or it might be too long. I don't want to make this too long just to meet it. So I'm going to stop about right there. I'm going to curve this and bring it down. So see, I need to make this a little bit longer. So it meets. It comes into the body. And then the rest of that hand, again, so it looks like it's on the hip. You're going to do a curved line that comes out, comes over, and then cuts up to that other one. Because again, he's a sack. So all of his appendages are kind of pointy. This tip is pointy. This tip is pointy. The feet are pointy. They have just like the slightest curve to them. And we're going to add a bunch more stitching lines within him too. Lastly, we have his arm. So I'm going to start it about, around where it would be, where it matches up over here. And I'm going to come up and out, just shy of Maleficent. And then I will curve that in and take it down. Make that just a little bit longer. There we go. And this hand is holding a dice. a die. So a square. I'm going to do dimension here, guys. Don't get too excited. I don't do this too often. A square. I'm going to angle out, connect those. I'll zoom in on this too in just a second. I'm going to angle, or I'm going to come straight down, and then I'm going to do angle there. And then what I'm going to make sure of right now, see how there's a gap between the die and his hand? I'm going to make sure his hand flattens all the way across and then comes down. So I'm just going to change that shape of the hand so that way that die, I think that's called a die when it's just one, is directly onto sitting on the hand. And then you can put little dots. I don't worry too much about like, well, what dots are on what side? I just kind of put, maybe that one we're only seeing part of them because of the angle. So there's my die. So Oogie Boogie's story is he puts you on this giant roulette wheel, basically to decide if you live or don't, and it's all based on what dice he rolls. So the dice become like a sinister character in Nightmare. Now I want to add some of the stitching lines. So I'm going to add a line that comes kind of from the tip of the point of the hand and just curves into the body. And then that's going to have stitching lines going across it. I'm going to put one that comes from the tip of the head, and that's going to have lines that come across it. I'm going to do one just kind of here in his arm, and that will have lines. And then I'm going to do one that comes down the length of his leg and then into his foot. Oh, well, that would make you run out of room. And then that's going to have lines. And they'll go across. And then they'll go across this way. He's all stitched up. And his smile, do a curve just above this point where the head meets the body. And then you can do the stitching lines across it. Hey, Finelli. Just saw you pop in. And now his eyes, they almost kind of remind me of like something you would carve into your pumpkin. So we're going to have one that just kind of comes out from the side of the face, just kind of angle a line down slightly, and then curve it into a triangle. And then the other one, angle up slightly, and then curve into a triangle. And that, my friends, is Oogie Boogie. He's pretty simple. He's just a stitched up sack, but boy, is he a meanie. And so now it is time to do our coloring. This is kind of exciting because I didn't get to color these guys today when I was drawing them. So I'm going to outline first. I'll just start over here with Oogie. It's a good thing I can't see yours. Well, you know what, Linda? What if I make you post it in group? There are no free passes. You must share your art. No, that's not true. You don't have to if you don't want to, but I sure love it when you do. Here's what you can think about when you're afraid to show your art, is that I went out today downtown and painted art. There was no pencil outline. You can't do pencil outline on wood. I don't paint on large surfaces like that. All the other people who were out there either were using spray paint or big old jugs of house paint, and I was just out there with my little Target acrylic paint jars painting. So if anybody wants to see that, if you want to go, I mean, I would love to encourage everybody to go out and take a picture in front of it. I mean, I think if you're part of this group, it would be super fun if you had your picture in front of the drawing. So if you want to go see it, it is actually very easy to see, you guys. I know originally I was supposed to be doing it on Macy's. I am actually so glad I got moved because Doko is pretty shut down at the moment. But where I got to draw it is on a building called Flat Stick. It's like an indoor miniature golf bar place. And they are located directly across the street from Sauced or catty corner from where the ice rink is. If you know where the Starbucks is on 7th and K, the big Starbucks on the corner, it's 2 doors down from the Starbucks. If you don't even want to get out of your car, if you are driving on 7th and you're in more of like the right-hand lane, if you look to your right, just a couple doors down from Starbucks, you will see the drawing. It is like in such a high traffic, high visibility area where if it had been at Macy's, it would have been actually quite hidden, especially because that whole area really gets shut down. There's not a lot of foot traffic going through it. But people are eating at Sauce, they're eating out on the patio, and you know what they're looking directly at? They're looking at the drawing, guys. Also, the lovely gentleman who was drawing next to me today was awesome. He's a graffiti artist. He's been arrested before for doing graffiti, which kind of made me, I don't know, feel like a slight badass. In his younger days, he's a dad now, but And I really love the juxtaposition of our artwork together. I think it also shows so much diversity in like the two different styles. Like we both have these open mouths on our drawing, but they're like so different. I just think that that's really awesome. This was interesting trying to... You did the whole thing in pen, Leslie? That's brave. That's something I would do. I actually thought about it earlier when I was drawing it because I knew I wasn't going to have time. And so I thought, okay, I can either draw it in pen and then actually be able to color it, or I can draw it in pencil and then not color it. And I was so tired that I didn't trust myself in pen. I felt like I was going to make all kinds of mistakes. I was lazy. I can't go look for a pencil. Put this little hand in. Do we have any newbies tonight? Are there any people here who are new that this is their first time? We have a pretty good group for the villains. And I'm sure that's a lot are going to draw this after the fact, not live with their kids. Anytime you do something Disney related, you can always count on the fact that lots of people will show up to draw it. Oh, here with two first-timers. Nice. Is it your first time or did you invite them? Did you bring them in? I dragged my friend Leah on board today. She's in Santa Barbara and I'm in West Sac. Well, Leah, I hope you are having a good time. I hope you weren't dragged too hard. Or at least if you were dragged, you're enjoying yourself now and you're glad you came. They came so unprepared. Hey, I taught a private once and it was for a business, and one of the people had a pencil, highlighters, and Post-it notes. And I almost asked them to send me the drawing because it was so great. And it was just on... Oh, Nicole, hi. See, I don't even see who's all here. So I love it when you guys speak up. Did you make Jackson draw with you, Nicole? I mean, what else is he going to do? Crayons and wide Sharpies. Hey, it works. You make it work. Jack is on pain meds. I almost left him a note telling him he better color me a picture to put on my fridge since I gave him a coloring book. And another cool thing is when flat stick opens back up, they want me to host a drawing night there. So that will be another location for us to do a live event when we're able to do that. Which I can't wait for that. I can't wait to see everybody and meet everybody in person. Be very nice. You can make sure he does. I swipe my grandkids' colored pencils. I see a lot of that. In fact, I've seen a lot of people who swipe either their grandkids or their kids coloring stuff, and then they end up liking drawing and they say, I bought myself all kinds of new supplies. I've had a lot of that. I almost have to buy paper soon. I just tapped into my last paper, but thankfully my Target is carrying it. Oh, Carla, that's a huge goal for me. Once we can, we will do a lot of live draws, and my hope is that a lot of them will happen at some of the venues in which we've done sip and draw, like sponsors that will go to some of those spaces and do a live event. That's like my big goal. And we'll have some that are just more like adult, and then we'll have some that are geared more towards the kids. $100 in supplies. That's easy to do. Instead of these being circles of light, they will not. This is colored black. This is colored black. There will be no circles of light inside of the Disney thing. And then, on that live note, if it's in an area that maybe, I imagine a lot of them will happen here in Sacramento, but I'm also happy to come do live drawing events, live drawing parties in your houses and things like that. But right now it all feels like a daydream. It'll happen though. All right, I'm going to erase all my pencil and then get to coloring. Still have a pretty good group of you. I will be here until I finish coloring, especially since I didn't get to color my original drawing, and especially since I have half a bottle of wine left, and I don't have any... Ooh, almost wrinkled my paper. I don't have any private drawings tomorrow, so while I do have to do some prep work drawing, I can sleep in. Oh, can't wait. Relax or chill. Man, I keep bending my paper. There's kind of two versions of Oogie Boogie. He is a sack, and he's like burlap. So you can color him. I mean, you can color him tan, Or when he gets in his sinister mode and he's got his dice in his hand, he glows. He's like a day glow, like a neon green. Almost like what you would see in a black light. In fact, that's what they're imitating, is a black light. So I'm going to color him tonight in that green shade. But you could also do Oogie Boogie in a tan, like burlap color. That's like his normal, quote unquote, skin tone. Have I thought about partnering with Matchbook? I haven't. I actually don't really have any sponsors on the calendar right now for these sip and draws, any partnerships. So I need to reach out to some. I did reach out to one here in West Sac, Baker Wines. But I need to reach out to a couple more. No, none of them have reached out to me in the past. Most of it has been them contacting me. So if you know someone who has a small business, I don't really care what the business is. In fact, I even told Flatstick today, I said, you guys could be a sponsor and we can just, talk about your business, which I've talked about them a lot tonight, and encourage people to go there. I don't charge anything for sponsoring. I don't get paid for that. So anyone who thinks like, oh, she's getting paid and then she has to plug, I'm not. I'm just plugging them to help them out. So, if they want me to drink their drink or whatnot, I just ask for that piece. But, if you know a restaurant or a brewery or a winery or, you have a friend who works there, let them know. Send them my info because I love doing it. I think it's awesome and fun to support these places that, most of them need it right now. Especially a lot of places, they got to open and then they kind of had to close again. Now I know my friend Robin likes colors, so Robin, for the shell I'm using dark yellow. I'll try to make it, I don't know, maybe I'll use my sexy voice when I announce the color. For the eyelid, I'm going to do azure blue. And I'm doing this middle portion here. That upper portion will be purple. I don't know what shade of purple yet, so you will have to hold tight to find out. Finale, we should do Coraline some night. Okay, now the hair is white, but I am going to go in, and especially along these little waves, I'm just going to put a little kind of gray, which is called gray. I kind of love when they're just called what they are. It makes me laugh. Yes, let's do it. And violet in the earrings. And I'm also going to do violet down here in the tail where the tentacles are. Oh, you're okay, Sarah. You don't ever have to apologize for being late. I don't take roll. For the lips, I'm going to go scarlet red. That's really one thing I like about a lot of the Disney villains is they wear obnoxious makeup. It's always, super dark lipsticks, super crazy eyeliners, super crazy eyeshadows. It gives them a lot of character when they do that. Now, her dress, aka tentacles, are black. So you're coloring all of this in black. I hate when that happens. Sorry. Brief intermission for a pencil sharpening session because it broke as soon as I sharpened it, which is the perfect time to take a drink. I think that's what pencil sharpening sessions are for. Especially since at this point we aren't saying our drinking words too much. This is definitely a section in which it would look really good done in a blender pencil, the black. I always feel like black pencil, if you push really hard, of course, you'll cover all of the white, but you will use so much of the pencil doing that. So a lot of times with my blacks, I like to, push decently hard and then come in with a blender pencil because a blender pencil will actually make the black blacker. Because it spreads it around. It blends it. And I always feel like with the black pencil, you always see a lot of like your line marks. And, especially with Ursula, and we're going to do it with Maleficent, there's a lot of that color going on. And they're both very like shiny. Like when you see them, they're very, very dark. And I used to always just default to pen. Like if I wanted that really dark black color, I would just default to pen because, you know, I sharpen that and you can see kind of how dull it is already. It just takes a lot. That's why most of my black pencils are so short, because it takes a lot to actually cover. But your blender pencil will really save you there. So I really think if you haven't gotten one yet and you're coloring in pencils, make that like $3 investment, maybe $5, but you get 3 pencils. The set I ordered on Amazon, I think, was $5, and I got 3 pencils. It will save. Blender pencils are more firm, so they last longer naturally, and it will save some of your darker colors. And I'll show you here, you know, I know it's, again, just you guys watching me color, but I'll kind of show you what that blender pencil will do. So see what that looks like? See how we have all of this white mixed in. So I could push really hard with my black, or I can come in with this blender pencil and I can just go over the top of it. And, you know, I mean, you're coloring twice, so that is kind of a pain in the ass. Because you have to color it in and then you have to go over it again. But I don't know. It really just saves it, and I think it gives it such a cleaner look than even when you push like as hard as you can. Like if you push as hard as you can to get that black completely saturated, I still think going in with the blender pencil works better. Just again, make sure that if you're doing this, don't swipe your page, because all of this, it's actually lifting some of that black pigment as it spreads it around. And if you just swipe, you're going to smear it. Now, it will erase, but I just usually blow on it. So if I'm doing blender pencil, I always kind of come through and like just blow. So now look at the difference. So blender pencil, non-blender pencil. You see that difference? And I have barely, like my blender pencil is barely dull. It was about that when I started. Just remember, you have to clean that. So it'll be okay when I do Maleficent, because she's going to have a black robe too. But if I was, let's say, doing Oogie Boogie in a green and I wanted to saturate it more, I don't want to hit it with this blender pencil when it's covered in the black. So you can either, you know, scrub it off on another sheet of paper, just rub it back and forth, or you can sharpen it again, and sharpening it again will remove any pigment that got left behind by the previous color. And trust me, I say that because I know I have many times forgotten to clean it off, and I just quickly grab it out of my pencils, and then I smudge, you know, a different color on top of something else. A little bit, there we go. So see, look how much better that looks. It's completely saturated. You know, it's a pencil, but if you don't, okay, if you buy a pencil set and your pencil has a white, your white will almost work like a blender pencil. But when you are doing white on top of black, it will give it a gray tone where the blender pencil is completely colorless. So white is good for blending other things, browns, greens, things like that. But sometimes, when you're trying to do like a pure black look, doing a blender pencil is better than doing the white, because the white will kind of gray out your black. So okay, now for the rest of my Ursula, I'm coloring her purple. I'm going to color her eyelids, the upper and the lower. I'm going to push darker. Hi, Elena. I just saw you come in. And then for her face and skin, I'm actually going to even use a lighter color. This one's called lavender. The other one was lilac. I've also really learned, for those of you buying supplies, I always bought just the Blick brand. Those are the pencils I color with the most, even here, day to day. Right now, this lavender and the black was the Prismacolor. And I think there's different grades of Prismacolor pencils. Again, I'm not a supplies expert, but this was my first time really buying a big set of Prismacolor. The set I got, they're really soft, so I actually think they're really meant for using a blender pencil or layering colors, just because of how soft they are. When a pencil is super soft, it actually does tend to leave more white in the empty space. Like you can see in her face, there's a lot of white. But if I hit that with a blender pencil, it's going to really spread it around, make it lighter. Oh, no problem. iPad's freezing. I hope you have a good night. Thanks for joining us. Oh, awesome, Lisa. Did you order the Blick brand or did you order the Prismacolor brand? Because Blick sells both of them. All right, there is my Ursula. She is finished, and that calls for a drink. And a refill. Maleficent is also very purple and black. Cheers. Prismacolor. Yeah, make sure you got a blender. No problem, Denise. Thanks for joining. Sorry your iPad's freezing up. Okay, so I'm going to do the staff of her cane, a darker This is called Naples Yellow. Now, the original Maleficent is actually pale purple as well. Disney really likes their pale purple, like purple and black are your evil colors. I'm not going to do that for her. I'm going to do skin tone for her. So, you know, while I'm going with a more classic look of Maleficent, I am going to go skin tone because I don't want pale purple and black and pale purple and black. Like, I'm going to have purple and black in here anyway. But I don't want to repeat the skin tone again. So I will do lavender eyeshadow though. And let's do cherry red for her little puckery lips. And her eyes, folks, are yellow. She had yellow eyes. So I'm going to keep this part white and I'm going to color this yellow. Because again, we're not doing any of the circles of light with this. And now I'm going to take violet again, and I'm going to color this violet. And I'll do the upper two black, and this black, and then this black. Lots of black. And I think that's too why I'm going to go with the Oogie Boogie, the green version, the kind of black light green, just to make him stand out. So he's not just over there, just this big brown heap, since he's just one color. And I don't know, there's something about when he's green that makes him look more sinister. I got the blender erasers and over 100 pencils. I also ordered paper, still waiting. Very cool. You're gonna love them. So I will do the eyeshadow first, and I'm gonna just color all the way up to the eyebrow. And I'm doing that first because when I do the skin tone, I'll kind of go over it and it'll blend it out a little bit. So I'll do beige for her hand color. And beige in here. And I'm going to color it all in first, and then I'll kind of blend out that eyeshadow a little bit. We're at an hour and a half, not our longest drawing. We've had ones much longer. Thanks for everyone still hanging out. There's still a whole ton of you. Sometimes when we get to the coloring stage, a lot of you drop off and it gets pretty small group. People like, you know, they're either coloring on their own, they're coloring tomorrow. Some people don't live in California, so they're staying up late to do this in the first place, so they're just kind of getting the drawing instruction and then they go color on their own. Or sometimes they're doing it with friends and then they color it in their own little private meetups. Again, I'm just kind of going over that eyeshadow. It blends it out a little bit, and fills any of the empty space with a skin tone, because what's behind our eyeshadow? Well, our skin. And I want to give her a little bit of like a shadowed cheek. For the lips, I did cherry red. I'm going to come in with a gray on this. And I'm only doing gray because she is a villain. I typically wouldn't use gray when I'm shading a cheek. I would just do a lighter skin tone. But you know what? She's a villain. And I think it kind of adds to that sinister look of her when you shadow with a color that isn't necessarily a skin tone. Oh, that's awesome, Rosie. You're back home now, right? You're not in Truckee anymore? I think that's what you said. And now all the rest of Maleficent, take a drink, is black. I'm going to use, so when I did this black, I used the Prismacolor Premier. And for this black, I'm going to use the Blick Studio pencils. And you can see the difference. So I don't know. I just thought it would be interesting so you can see how differently they color. The Blick, I find, so I'm pushing the same as I did when I colored Ursula. The Blick saturate more, but they're not as dark. So one of the reasons I'm doing that is because Maleficent does have these lines in her horns. And I don't know that you can tell on camera, but I can still see them through the black pencil. Where with the Premier, Premier. With the Premier Prismacolors, they deposit the black. There's still a lot of white. But then once you hit them with that blender pencil, man, they are solid black. And any of those little details would be lost. I wouldn't see the little lines in the horns, which isn't a big deal. I don't know. Just shows you two different brands. And interestingly enough, I feel like even though these are a little bit harder, which is why I think they color in more space, they don't leave as much white space, you do have to sharpen them just as much. Like it takes just as much of the crayon as the Prismacolor ones do. So just shows you some difference. I don't really have any, I wouldn't say I have any brand loyalty. I'm not getting paid by any of these people to push their products. Wish I was, based on how many of you guys order supplies. But it helps you decide, what you want to buy. I bought that big set of Prismacolors, and I think I'm going to do another set and replace all my Blick, because I do like each of them for different reasons. It's kind of like if I'm in the mood to blend and I'm in the mood to layer a lot of colors on top of each other, or I'm doing a piece of art that has a lot of color layering, then I'm always going to go towards Prismacolor. If I'm just kind of busting out a drawing and I don't want to have to go through and do the blender, then I do it with the Blick. Sorry, I know I keep... Whenever my phone has to charge, like I just had to plug it into the charger, I bump the camera a lot more. So that's why you guys always see that like vibration of the camera. I try to miss it, but I'm basically right now drawing around my camera. My camera is like in my face and in between my arms. So when that cord is there, it's really hard not to miss it. So that's Blick without a blender. So see how it's like darker, but see, I can see the little the little lines in there. Where, you know, a lot of filled space versus a lot of that white space that I had to blend out on this side. And then I'm just going to come and finish this bottom of the robe. And Oogie Boogie will be really easy and quick because he is just one color. There is no other color in that character. He's a big old sack of color. These are fun. These are fun characters to draw. I actually really like it. I am going to put one, let me find that violet again. There we go. I'm going to put a line down. You can actually kind of see a little bit of the inside of her robe. I just want to add a little bit of purple down here. So I'm just right in that middle section. I'm going to do like a purple section. There we go. Oh boy. I'm not sure what we are drawing next Saturday. Next week in group is music week, thanks to Linda. Linda won the silent auction item of getting to pick the theme for one of the drawings, and I decided that wasn't good enough because Linda comes all the time and she's always super supportive. So I'm going to give Linda Music Week. And I might, if we don't end up with a sponsor, I might end up doing that also. We'll do another sort of music themed drawing next Saturday. But if you like music, feel free to join in on some of those kids sessions. We will do a whole range of things. We're going to do, we're going to do instruments for sure. We might have instruments on 2 different days. We're going to do songs, like titles of songs, and then, you know, play off of that, play off of a line in the song or the title of the song. Think like "You Are My Sunshine" and how you would, you know, incorporate that into a drawing. We will also definitely be doing Muppets. We will be doing either animal is what I'm leaning towards, but some Muppets band. Yeah. So we'll have lots of fun with the music stuff. But as for Saturday, I don't exactly know yet, but I'll decide probably by Wednesday or sooner what we're doing for the next sip and draw. Now, whenever you do color a lot of black, you will end up with, I don't know how much you can see that, but there's a lot of black just on my page. Yes, Anna, Muppets. Muppets are my favorite. We will have Muppets. Oh, so yeah, I was saying you'll end up with a lot of black on your page. So it's just important to remember, you know, go back and erase like any weird spots of black you're getting, but don't swipe. You're going to completely, at this point, when you have this much black on your page, you're going to blow on the drawing, because if you swipe on any of those spaces, you're going to smear it. Yes, Rainbow Connection. I actually did. I had a private drawing this week. My person who won the Mother's Day drawing, I thought I had it right here handy. The person that won the Mother's Day drawing, they wanted Kermit. And so we did a Kermit drawing. And it was very Rainbow Connection. It was very cute. I'm trying. Oh, here we go. See? And then people added rainbows in, or added It's Not Easy Being Green. Whichever version you wanted. Okay, now Oogie Boogie, I'm going to do, wow, this color is called Bice, B-I-C-E green. Is that the one I want to use? Not light green. I really want kind of a lime green. Yeah, I'm going for it. Oh yeah, that's a good one. You just want that kind of, if you're doing it green, you know, again, if you're going to do it brown, you want like a burlap color. If you're going to do the green, you want it to be like the kind of green that looks like it would glow in a black light. That's the green he is. Man, this might be one of my favorite drawings, guys. I'm really liking this. This mix of villains. Because Maleficent didn't sing, right? Ursula sang. Oogie Boogie sings. So we have multiple different kinds of, we have like a sea creature, an actual person villain, and then a different gender villain who's really kind of not a person either. I like the mix. Okay, I'm going to go this way. I think, well, Maleficent's movie was Sleeping Beauty, right? I'm getting that right? That was Maleficent? But then when they redid it, and they redid it with humans instead of animation, live action, is that what they call that movie? It was called Maleficent, and it was like the story of her and how she became who she was. It's kind of one of those where they like tell you the backstory. But I'm pretty sure Maleficent was Sleeping Beauty. Can someone confirm that? I'm not super hip on the Disney movies, guys, to be honest. I mean, I've seen a lot of them. It's like I saw a lot of the ones from when I was a kid, and then I saw a lot of the ones from like the Little Mermaid era, but then there's like a whole big segment that I missed. So I know like one time the kids got really like, what? Because I haven't ever seen like Lilo and Stitch. There's just some that I haven't seen. Okay, good. Sleeping Beauty. I got it right. Phew. We're almost done. Ooh, that I guess I made that sharp. And then Sleeping Beauty was also was Sleeping Beauty the spindle? She like pricks her finger on it and falls asleep? Because the other one is the apple. Or am I wrong? Who's the one that says mirror, mirror on the wall? The Bad Fairy in Sleeping Beauty. Okay. So then who was the villain in Snow White? That's what I can't remember. Who was Snow White? Was it just the evil queen in Snow White? Did she have a name? Didn't she also need a kiss? All you need is a kiss. Right? Did Beauty and the Beast need a kiss? Yeah, just the evil queen. Okay. Snow White was the mirror, mirror queen. Yeah, but I think she just was called the evil queen. Like, I don't think she even had, like, a name. It was just evil queen. All right. Oh my God, I love it. Love it. This is a gem right here. I'm excited for this one. Oh, I just thought of something fun. Okay. We're finished here. I thought of something fun. Don't leave yet. Especially if you have kids who come and draw. I'm going to initial the bottom one. Initial the bottom with my initials. Let me turn off this blazing light. And let me flip you guys around. Okay. Hi. No, I need to put those back on or I can't read your comments. Okay. So, couple things. Thank you so much. What's going on with my bangs? That's okay. Let's get that settled. Thank you so much. Everybody, I want everyone to just take a collective breath together. Just because it was a tough week. I don't care who you are. I don't care anything about you. If you're a human being with a heart that beats in your chest, it was a tough week. You guys let me take a moment of pause on Tuesday and you celebrated the art I created. I got to do something pretty amazing today and you celebrated it. I'm gonna not cry right now. I'm constantly blown away because, like I always say, like, I didn't intend this. This group was, hey, do 20 of my friends want to get together to draw? And now it's like turned into this like huge group and it's such a family and, people come and draw here live and people come and draw afterwards and people share their art, which I love. So yes, take that breath, acknowledge to yourself that you made it through a tough week. We have had a tough few months and this week, in my opinion, was the toughest. And through this group, I found a way to get through it. And I found a way to spread a message and to just share myself, I guess. So thank you very much for that. I'm always appreciative of you guys coming here. I'm always appreciative of your support. You share the group, you share your art, you send me donations and tips, which I love. They all go back into this. When I had to go buy like $80 worth of art supplies today to go paint on walls. And that's come from donations that come into this group. So thank you so much for doing that. You don't have to. I set this group up intending it to be free and, you help a lot. So just a big collective hug, a big collective breath that we made it through this week. Celebrate that. Do something wonderful for yourself Sunday. The little idea I had. God, I'm having a hard time. I felt so bad that I didn't color this. I felt so bad. That's so silly. But I wasn't sad today. I was very happy and felt very blessed, but I was very emotional, clearly. And in some weird way, by coming here tonight and having you draw with me and not having this ready, I felt really guilty. But I just had an awesome idea. I know a lot of you have kids, grandkids, nieces, nephews. And and they see me as like a superstar, like, which just mind boggles me. But this is now a coloring page. Look at that. It's there and it's ready for all of your kids to color. So I'm gonna scan this into my fancy printer over there, and I'm gonna load it onto the group, and you can print it out and your kids can color it. So there's a little fun bonus, a little fun thank you from me. Your kids can go in and they can color this, now I'm thinking, beautiful coloring sheet that I made, instead of seeing it as like a failure that I didn't finish it for you guys before the drawing started tonight. So I will post that on the group tomorrow. So this will be there for you guys to print out, so your kids can color it in if they want to, because I know some of you guys have kids who don't have this yet. You know, they're 4, they're 5, they're 6, they could even be 10, 12, 13, 14, 15, and they're just learning to draw. So everyone loves to color, right? So I will scan that and load that in. So thank you very much. Cheers to all of you beautiful people. Thanks for coming week after week to support me. I really appreciate it. I love you guys. And I will see you on Monday. Bye.